I would probably say maybe property tax, because property tax, it's so wildly confusing and different between municipalities, school districts, whether you're a manufacturer or you're this. There's no predictability to it, and I guess the accountants might not like it, or tax people, but you just have to. It's incredibly confusing. So I would say that, and then there's always the special giveaways that the legislature's trying to do, whether it's reducing taxes for data centers or reducing, I'm all for low taxes, but at the same time, it should be fair to everybody, and not just a giveaway to one industry. The data center one I had a real problem with last year. One, because we're trying to recruit people into our price corridor, which 20, 30 years of councils have done a great job preserving for business, for jobs, for economic development that is driven by thousands of jobs. Data centers are great, they're needed, but we have 3 in the price corridor, and somebody's putting forward a bill that just lowers property taxes that much more on that one industry, that ultimately it's going to cost all the regular people more money, because it's an industry that comes in and sucks up all the water, tons of electricity, and then about 50 jobs, where if you had a different kind of business in there, you could have 1,000 jobs. And so ultimately, I believe in, and I think Gilbert and Chandler have the lowest taxes pretty much of any city or town in the valley. But they come about that 2 different ways, and they both done a good job. Gilbert doesn't have near as much economic development, but they're just very thrifty, and they don't spend money on things unless it's necessity, and they're slow and being deliberate, which is good. Chandler, the way I look at it, is more economic development, which means we have a lot more jobs, which means than other municipalities, which means we have more of the Reagan style, I think, of a whole lot of taxpayers, a very low taxes and a very wide base of taxpayers. And I think that has served Chandler really well. I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but I think those 2 cities have done a very good job as far as taxes. But as the taxes as a whole, you go from city to city or county to county, and it's just so different. And unfortunately, a lot of us all get grouped in together. People just think that Chandler's property taxes are insanely high, and we have to explain to them that that's the school taxes. Ours is a very small, minute portion. In fact, we're bringing forward in the budget this year to lower our property taxes by 9 cents, which I challenge you probably to find any other city that's doing that. I mean, probably in the entire state, you count on one hand. So when we see that we're getting too much revenue, even when we're looking at it out, we're trying to definitely do things like that to return it to the taxpayer.